Here's the uncomfortable truth that every tech headline is ignoring right now. If you look at the trajectory over the last 2 years, you might assume that the future belongs to the coders, to the prompt engineers, to the technical wizards who can whisper to the machines. But in 2026, the most valuable skill in your arsenal won't be Python, it won't be prompt engineering, it won't be any technical skill. The most valuable asset in an AI-saturated world is the one thing AI cannot replicate: your physical presence. Think about it. AI has already conquered the screen. Writing, coding, design, data analysis. Machines are faster, cheaper, and increasingly more creative than us. If your value proposition lives entirely on a monitor, you are competing against a tsunami. But there is one domain where you still hold the absolute biological advantage: the physical world, real conversations, the handshake, the trust that is chemically synthesized only when two people share a room. In 2026, you will either build real world equity or you will become invisible, just another voice in a sea of synthetic content. Today, we're going to walk through 8 seismic shifts that will define this transition. We're not looking at them as a random list, we're looking at them as a chain reaction. One shift triggers the next, creating a narrative of how human value is being redefined. Shift 1, the offline comeback. The chain begins with a rejection of the screen. For 15 years, the trend line of social media usage has only gone up, but that era is over. Social media has peaked. The data is brutal. Time spent on social platforms has dropped 10% since 2022. The raw numbers hide the real story. Who is leaving? It's Gen Z. The generation that grew up with an iPad in the crib is leading the exodus. Why? Because the digital town square is broken. First is the algorithmic manipulation. You open Instagram to see your friends, but the algorithm force feeds you reels from strangers designed to hijack your dopamine. Second, it's the dead internet theory coming true. The feed is flooded with AI sludge, synthetic images, bot comments, and content farms. You can no longer verify reality through a screen. So, just like processed food became cheap and organic food became a luxury status symbol, offline interaction is becoming the new luxury good. We're seeing a massive behavioral pivot. Gen Z is even buying dumb phones, flip phones from the 1990s. Not a joke, but a defensive tool to reclaim their attention. Dating apps are hemorrhaging users, while run clubs and speed dating events are surging in popularity. Professional matchmakers are making a comeback. People are paying a premium for human curation because they no longer trust the algorithm. The twist: AI is actually driving us offline. As AI gets better at handling digital drudgery, book my flight, order my groceries, your phone transforms. It stops being a screaming portal demanding for attention and starts being a silent servant. This breaks the dopamine loop. You don't need to stare at the screen to get things done anymore. Here's the leadership play for 2026. Your offline network is your balance sheet. If you are a founder or a senior leader, stop worrying about your LinkedIn impressions. If you are not physically present in your industry, you are increasingly statistically irrelevant. But here's the friction point. If we put the phone away to reclaim our lives, we lose our keyboard, we lose our primary interface for commanding the digital world. How do we control tech if we aren't touching the screen? That necessity forces the second shift. Shift 2, the voice revolution. When the keyboard disappears, the voice takes over. We are moving from a type-first economy to a voice-first economy. We see the early signals of this: audiobooks beating physical books, voice notes replacing text messages. But in 2026, this goes from convenience to a core professional skill. To understand why this matters, we have to look at the neuroscience of communication.
Typing is a shield. When you write an email or a Slack message, you are forcing structure on your thoughts. You type, you delete, you edit, you polish. Writing is a cognitive filter that allows you to hide muddled thinking behind structured text. Voice is the sword. Voice is raw. It's immediate. There is no backspace key. It's live conversation.
In 2026, with advanced iterations of Siri, Gemini, and OpenAI's voice mode, your voice becomes your operating system. You won't type Q3 revenue analysis into a search bar. You will say, analyze our Q3 performance, compare it to the last 2 years, and draft a memo to the team highlighting the 3 biggest risks. This creates a new hierarchy of leadership. Firstly, fluency is the new literacy. The ability to articulate complex ideas verbally in real time without ums or ahs will separate leaders from the laborers. Secondly, the exposure of fuzzy thinking. If you can't articulate your command clearly to an AI, the AI cannot execute it. You can no longer hide behind an editor. This is the cognitive shift. We're about to see a change in how we think. People who read and write think in structures and hierarchies. People who speak and listen think in streams and narratives. And as we move to voice, our business culture will become less formal and more conversational, but also more demanding of instant clarity. But talking to the ear isn't enough. If your head is up and your hands are free, you need a way to receive information back from the AI without looking down at a screen. You need a visual layer. This leads us to hardware that will finally kill the smartphone. 30 seconds to let you know that I'm building a private community of leaders and entrepreneurs. Join the waitlist, get alerts on all of our new content, strategic business insights, live shows coming up, and what goes into making a production like this for you. You'll see our speakers like you've never seen them before, and you can even request to be featured. So click the link in the description box below this video. Shift 3. AI glasses go mainstream. In 2026, the tech giants, Meta, Apple, Google, will stop trying to get you to look at a device and start helping you to look through one. The stigma of Google Glass is dead. Look at the success of Meta's Ray-Ban collaboration. It proved that if the form factor is cool, people will wear the computer on their face. And here's how the experience changes. Imagine you're walking to a meeting. Instead of looking down at Google Maps, the navigation arrows are painted onto the sidewalk in front of you. And you look at a restaurant and the Yelp ratings hover above the door. Or you're in a negotiation. As the other person speaks, your glasses flash a summary of their last email in your peripheral vision, giving you the total recall. Your phone becomes just backup hardware in your pocket. The glasses become your primary interface. Enter the gaze economy. This is the last frontier of attention capture. For the last decade, companies tracked what you click. Now they will track what you see. Every glance is a data point. Did you look at that advertisement on the subway? How long did your eyes linger on that pair of shoes? The privacy implications are terrifying. Will facial recognition always be on? Will we have a searchable reality where I can ask my glasses, where did I leave my keys? And it rewinds the video of my life to show me. The pattern of history suggests we will accept this. We said we'd never wear tracking devices, yet we all have GPS smartphones. We said we'd never put cameras in our living rooms, yet we have Alexa and Ring. The tech always wins. Convenience always defeats privacy. But there is a fatal flaw in this vision. For these glasses to be truly useful, for them to guide you through the real world, the AI needs to understand the real world. And right now, it doesn't. Currently, AI can write a poem about a cup of coffee, but it doesn't understand the physics of spilling it. This limitation forces the most technical yet the most important shift in this list. Shift 4 and 5. The architecture collapse and the rise of world models. Current AI is hitting a hard ceiling. We need to get technical for a moment because this determines where the trillion-dollar opportunities lie. Everything you use today, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, is built on the same architecture. The large language model, the LLM, are token predictors. They predict the next word. They don't understand physics, gravity, cause and effect, or time. They're brilliant at language, but their hallucinations are very real. Furthermore, LLMs are running out of food. They have read the entire internet. Now the internet is filling up with AI-generated garbage. The models are training on their own output, a phenomenon called model collapse. It's like a photocopier copying a photocopy over and over. Eventually, the image turns to a black sludge. Enter real-world models. To solve this, AI is moving from the library to the laboratory. The next generation of AI isn't trained on text. It's trained on video, sensor data, and physics simulations. These are called world models. An LLM predicts the next word. A world model predicts the next frame of reality. A world model understands that if I drop a glass, it will accelerate gravity, hit the floor, impact, and shatter physics. It doesn't need to read a description of it. It can simulate the event. And why this changes the economy? This is the missing link for robotics. You can't have a butler robot powered by ChatGPT. It may hallucinate and burn your house down. You need a robot powered by a world model that understands the physical consequences of its actions. Let's talk about geopolitical risk. The current US tech giants are all in on LLMs. But what if the breakthrough in world models comes from somewhere else? We got a preview of this with DeepSeek in China, when a Chinese lab produced a model that rivaled GPT-4 for a fraction of the cost. The markets panic. If the next leap, the leap to physical intelligence, comes from outside Silicon Valley, we will see a massive realignment of the global economic power. We have humans trying to disconnect, shift 1, using voice and glasses to stay augmented, shift 2 and 3, while AI learns to master the physical laws of nature, shift 5. When the average worker realizes that AI isn't just writing emails, but is actually learning to do physical labor and predict reality, the anxiety will boil over. It's all just too much. Shift 6, the human resistance. Silence is ending. For 2 years, we've quietly accepted the narrative of AI efficiency. Companies announce AI integration on a Monday and layoffs on a Friday. We've watched entry-level jobs, the training grounds for our careers, evaporate. By 2026, passive acceptance hardens into active resistance. This won't be people smashing machines. It will be a sophisticated three-front war. Front 1, the economic pushback. Workers will demand answers. If AI is creating all this surplus value, why is it only going to the shareholders? We will see the rise of data labor unions, people demanding payment for the data used to train the models that replace them. Front 2, the cognitive revolt. People are starting to feel the brain atrophy. I can't focus. I can't remember phone numbers. I can't write a cohesive paragraph without help. There will be a cultural movement towards cognitive sovereignty, the right to think for yourself without an algorithmic crutch. Front 3, the trust collapse. After the 2024 and 2025 election cycles, which were flooded with deepfakes, the public trust in media is at zero. We don't know what's real anymore. When you have a population that is economically anxious, cognitively fraying, and skeptical of everything they see, you create a massive power vacuum. And nature doesn't like a vacuum. It doesn't like empty, unused spaces. They get filled, pretty quickly. Shift 7. AI becomes campaign gold. Politics lags behind pain, but it always catches up. In 2026, a smart political entrepreneur is going to seize this moment. To date, politicians talk about AI in boring technocratic terms: regulation, safety, national security, blah blah.
The winning message for 2026 will be intensely personal. It will be the human first platform. We're waiting for the cognitive New Deal, the first leader who can articulate a positive vision of the future where humans and AI coexist, but humans remain in charge, will dominate the political landscape for the next decade.
Imagine a candidate who stands up and says, I have a plan to protect your job. I have a plan to tax the robots to fund your family's healthcare. I have a plan to protect your children's minds from algorithmic manipulation. Think of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the New Deal. That wasn't just a policy. It was a vision for how humans survive in an industrial world. But while the politicians fight over the laws, the culture will split over the nature of reality itself. Shift 8. The culture war meets the cure. We are heading towards a schizophrenia of value. We are about to see a split between synthetic art and synthetic medicine. Enter the culture war. In 2026, an AI is going to write a song or a movie script that is legitimately great. It will make you cry. This will tear culture apart. Tribe A will say, it moved me, it has value, I don't care who made it. Tribe B will say, it's hollow imitation, it's theft, it's soulless. Your aesthetic taste will become your political identity. We're entering the era of post-reality, where your opinion on a synthetic media defines your worldview. Let's look at the cure. Here's the trolley problem. While we argue about AI art, AI trained on biology like Google's AlphaFold will be solving problems that humans can't solve. We are talking about early detection of Alzheimer's, personalized cancer vaccines, antibiotics for superbugs.
This creates the ultimate tension. We might hate what AI does to our culture, cheapening it, but we love what it does to our bodies, extending it. We will be forced to ask the hardest question of the decade. What's the proper role of the human in a world where the machine writes better songs and saves our lives?
The closing, your 2026 mandate. Pull back and look at the whole map. Do you see the thread? The offline comeback and voice revolution pull us back into physical reality. AI glasses try to layer digital data back onto that reality. World models give the machines the power to understand and manipulate that reality. The resistance and politics fight to define the rules of that reality. So what do you do? If you're a leader, a founder, or just someone trying to navigate this storm, here's what you do.
Stop trying to out-robot the robot. The central question of your career is no longer what technical skills do I have. The question is, if I stripped away your title, your laptop, your AI assistants, what's left? The machines are taking the digital world. Let them have it. Your victory lies in the physical. Define your humanity, build it offline, and speak it into existence.
Most of you watching this channel will be leaders in business. You believe in learning. You believe in growth. If you're getting value from this channel, consider subscribing, and we'll commit to producing better and more content with leaders like you, more connections for you, more community around you. That all feeds your growth. Thanks for being here.